Hey guys, Haddy the creator here, creating something new to share with you, and today I am continuing on my Inktober journey and doing a few more drawing prompts. I'm actually traveling right now and I'm in a hotel. Scenery in the background is going to be a little bit different, but the drawing's all the same, coming from the same hand and these same little magic fingers. So first, let's check out a couple that I did not record. Here's a few that I've done since the last video. Firstly, I drew up this crab character for the prompt C. I thought he'd be a cool underwater or under the sea character. He's got these big old pincher arms, big old hunchback, and I might have gotten a little bit crazy with that white gel pen. I've just been loving it so much on this brown paper. Makes such a cool, strong highlight effect. And then for the prompt Lovecraftian, I decided to draw the Corpse Eater Mega Deluxe from my Monster Battle series with David Hartman. I loved his character so much and I thought this would be a fun one to draw up. And just love these little tentacle arms coming out of this skull. And now let's do some live drawing for you. Time to transition to that overhead camera. The next prompt was Aquatic, and I actually drew this one at home if you recognize my desk there, that wood paneling. Kalea, a friend of mine on Instagram, thought it would be cool to do something similar to this reference image that she sent to me. So I used that reference image to kind of take the same shape and form of this monster character, but I didn't want to copy it too much, and I'm just kind of using it for reference. Then I'm going to fill in all my details on my own, and then instead of doing a large ship from further away, I'm going to do a closer ship, so this serpent's going to be a lot smaller in scale. And then there's going to be these two fishermen in a rowboat that are trying to get away from this giant sea serpent popping up out of the water, probably about to topple their boat over and gobble them up like they was chicken nuggets. I sketched it out with a mechanical pencil, and then I went in with the smallest micron pen that I have in the set of micron technical pens. This thing's got a really tiny head on it, and I love it because I can get really small details and really take advantage of this smaller size paper. The only bad thing about it is it takes forever to fill it all in because your lines are so tiny, itty bitty lines. And then of course I'm going in with my white gel pen. I probably went in a little bit premature and just blanked in his eyes with this white and then put on some little details reflecting off of his teeth. But then I put the white gel pen away and don't pull it out till the very end. I also used some brush pens to kind of thicken up some lines and outlines a little bit as well. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with how this one turned out, and it's one of my favorites, although I do feel a little guilty using the reference a little too strongly with the positioning and the form and shape of this sea serpent. The next one for Mythological, I decided to draw up a Minotaur because I've always thought that they were pretty cool characters. I looked up a reference image of a cow and another one of a strong dude, and then I Mod Podged them both together. In retrospect, I wish I made the cow's head a little bit bigger in scale and made the body a little bit smaller. Whenever you see Minotaurs, you usually see that they have big old heads. And recently I went to some farm to do, the whole fall pumpkin thing, and they had some cows there, and I was looking at them, and their heads are just massive. They have big old noggins, these things. So if you were to take a regular full-scale sized cow head and put it on a regular full-size scale man, proportionately the cow head would be a lot bigger. Maybe my guy's body is giant and the cow head is just normal size, but it just looks small because of the whole scale. Anyway, I thought this was a fun one. Again, I used pencil to sketch out a rough draft, and then instead of using a small micron pen, I used my Tombow brush pen. So my details weren't as fine and small, just can't reach that same level of detail, but the versatility in this one pen is phenomenal. And then of course at the very end I went in with my white gel pen and kind of popped things out and polished it up a little bit, added some reflecting light and some backlighting, and really polished up this Minotaur dude. I also used 3 alcohol markers, 3 different shades of warm gray from Parku. They're Parku art markers. They kind of help define some values and make the drawing look a little bit more three-dimensional as well. Now to switch things up a little bit, I'm going to do a different process for this next one. I'm going to grab a handful of my art supplies here and get to it.
So for this one, I decided to go in and throw out some values first with the alcohol marker. This is the warm gray number 1 or number 2, I think. And what this is going to do is kind of help me block out some shapes and some ideas without a sketch layer in pencil. And then I will just use those values to incorporate it into the drawing and kind of flush it out and work it out backwards almost. I like to do this sometimes with faces and things. It's kind of a fun creative practice. This drawing prompt is dragon, and instead of just doing some big menacing kind of Dungeons and Dragons type big old dragon, I wanted to make a dragon with a little bit more personality and kind of make it more playful. I kind of wish I did this on a bigger piece of paper because this dragon looks like it's a little squished to try to fit him in there very well. I actually used a reference image of a cat that was playing on its back, so this dragon does kind of have some cat-like proportions, unfortunately. Maybe this is a very young dragon playing around with a little human, but I thought the idea of a dragon kind of playing with a human before he munches him down would be kind of a fun way to put some personality into him, just like a cat plays with a mouse. And from the human's perspective, this is probably a lot more terrifying than just some big old menacing dragon. I think I'd rather just be chased and eaten instead of chased, caught, played with, and slapped around a bit and then eaten. Wouldn't you agree? We used to have a cat and I watched it once with a mouse, and it would let it go and run around a bit and then catch it again and let it go and run around a bit and catch it again. Just the idea of having some sort of hope of salvation, the hope that you're not going to be eaten and tormented for any longer, just again to be caught in the paw of this giant beast, would just be utterly demoralizing. Maybe the cats in this dragon would do that over and over again until you just stop your fight and you lose all will to live, till you're not a fun toy anymore, and then might as well eat it. For this dragon, I used the Tombow brush pen as well, but then I did go in with the Micron pen just to put in some details on this little tiny human just because he's so small and I want to kind of define him a little bit. But the line art was 90% done with the Tombow brush pen. I think if I was doing this digital, I probably would have done another layer on top of this one and defined things a lot better because this is a little loose and sloppy. But I think for the sake of an Inktober drawing, this was a nice and fun one to do. And again, at the end with the white gel pen on there to kind of highlight things and make things pop a little bit, it kind of came together and looks pretty cool. I was pleased with this little dragon.
So that's 3 more down, trying to catch up. I am a few days behind. I am trying to do 2 a day now to catch up, and hopefully I can stick with it. If you liked what you saw, give me a little thumbs up and maybe hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you so much to my patrons who support me on a monthly basis and make videos like this possible and keep me drawn and keep me going. I really appreciate every single one of you. And thank you to each one of you who views this video. You guys are awesome. Today's motivational tidbit comes from the great Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee said, "Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do." Kind of goes along with what Yoda said, "Do or do not, there is no try." Both pretty incredible guys. I wonder who would win in a fight. I'd pay some good money to see that.
Beat you, I will.
There was a long time where I would watch lots of videos on YouTube and kind of get different tips and tricks and not really apply any of them. And when you gather knowledge and don't apply it, you kind of lose it over time. So if you're learning new things, go ahead and take the time to apply it and to do it. Or guess what? It's just not going to be part of your knowledge base and part of your skill set. It'll all just fade away like dust in the wind. Hey guys, thank you for being here. Thanks for being part of this channel and watching this video and going on this journey with me. Remember, you too are a creator. Keep on creating. See you later, guys. Peace and blessings.